and welcome to my Sun's Out, Books Out weekly reading vlog. My name is Lexi and welcome back to my channel. Today is a very exciting day because today is Monday. And while that doesn't sound exciting to anyone, myself included, it is the start of a very fun summer readathon, and that's where the excitement is. So today is June 20th and it marks the start of a brand new summer readathon. This is hosted by several people. I will link all of them and their channels down below. But I first heard about this from my friend Liv's channel, from Liv's library. And basically it is a week-long readathon where you are encouraged to read very, very summery books. And the prompts sounded so cute. There's also like daily prompts where you can post on Instagram too. And that is also what I will be doing. And I really, really wanted to vlog this. So yes. Today is day number 1. And I thought we could start the reading vlog out with me kind of giving you a little bit of a standing TBR. Okay, so here's what I did. I put together a mood TBR, meaning I have 1 to 3 books per prompt. I will not be reading that much this week. I have lots and lots of work to do. I work for myself, I work from home, I do YouTube full time. I have a lot of editing, I have some sponsorship things to do. So it will be a work week, but I will be reading a ton for this readathon as well. I'm hoping to get 3 full books read this week, but I really, really want to try to get every single one of the prompts as well. So let's pull up the prompts. Okay, so the very first prompt is going to be to read a book with a yellow cover. And the 2 books that I have for this one are going to be either A Snicker of Magic or Reckless Girls. And this one is by Natalie Lloyd and this one is by Rachel Hawkins. Did I get those right? I've been doing booktube for a long time now. So this one doesn't have a lot of yellow, but when you ditch, but when you take off the dust jacket, I mean, it's yellow all day long, baby. So very, very different vibes. This particular one is a whimsical middle grade. This is about a girl named Felicity, and Felicity has been on the road with her mom and her little sister in a van I think they've called the Pickled Jalapeno, and they end up going to this little town in the middle of summer, and the town claims that it used to, I think, have lots of magic, but the magic has gone away, and now Felicity wants to try to bring the magic back. It sounds and looks perfect for summer, and I have been dying to read more middle grade, so we've got that as an option. The second option is a book that I've seen on a lot of people's TBRs for this readathon, and that is Reckless Girls by Rachel Hawkins. All I know about this is that there's an island, people go there, and apparently there's cannibals. It's like a thriller. It sounds really creepy, but it also sounds very, very summery, so I don't know. I'm like dying to read this as well. Okay, the next one is to read a chiller. So read a chill thriller, and I have 3 books for this one. And the book I really, really want to, I think, prioritize is gonna be a book that I've been absolutely like dying to read all summer long, and that is going to be Family of Liars, and this is by E. Lockhart. So this is a prequel to the book We Were Liars, and if you haven't read that book, it's like one of my favorite books to read in the summertime. I think it's perfect. It's a 5 out of 5 stars for me, and this is technically the prequel. However, you cannot read this one first. You have to read We Were Liars first, or like you're completely spoiled for We Were Liars. So I can't tell you what this is about because it does kind of spoil some things, but I can tell you what We Were Liars is about. We Were Liars is following a group of cousins and one friend who's like not related to the family, and they all hang out on this island that their grandpa owns, and basically the family's super, super wealthy, but the family is all lying about things, and it's about the summer that like shit goes down. So I really, really want to read this. This is following all of their parents when they were teenagers on the same island, and I can't wait to read it. The next chill thriller that I think I really, really want to read is The Counselors, and this is by Jessica Goodman. This is actually the group pick, so there's like 1 book that everyone is going to try to read if you want to participate in this readathon, and that is The Counselors. This is YA, so is the other one, by the way. And all I know about this is it's following a camp counselor who goes back to this summer camp that she used to go to when she was younger, and the camp is like for basically like the rich kids of New England and New York. And this is the summer where like a dead body washes ashore. I'm excited. I think it'll be great. And then the other chill thriller is again going to be Reckless Girl. So we have 3 options there. The next prompt is to read a book chosen by a friend. The first book that I could read for this prompt is going to be Shipped, and this is by Angie Hockman. I actually saw my friend Allie recommend this book in a TikTok video, and so I thought like, okay, perfect. I wanted to read this forever, and it seems super, super summery. This is a hate to love about 2 people who are competing for the exact same position at their job, and then they are sent on a cruise together and they have to pretend to be like a happy couple. Amazing. The next one is a book that I found from my friend Kaylin's channel, and that is Half a Soul, and this is by Olivia Atwater. This is supposed to be Howl's Moving Castle meets Pride and Prejudice. It's a little bit of a comedy, and it's also a fantasy, and it's supposed to be like a Regency romance, and it sounds really, really good. And then the last book that I am including for this is going to be The Counselors, because this is technically the group pick, so I'm saying that my friend Liv was the one who suggested this to me, so yes. Okay, the next one is read a book with an island, ocean, or beach setting, and this is the one where I have like the most books for, and it's the hardest one for me to pick. First of all, we could do a middle grade with Hazel Bly and the Deep Blue Sea by Ashley Herring Blake. This is a book that is following Hazel, and Hazel has just moved to, I think, Maine with her mom and her little sister in the summer after the death of one of her other moms. And while she is there, she ends up like discovering that there's a legend about a mermaid. And so she's trying to explore that with like new friends. And it sounds really, really heartfelt. I love Ashley Herring Blake's writing. I loved The Mighty Heart of Sunny St. James, so I feel like I might be leaning towards this one. But we also have 2 others, and they sound really good. The first is The Island of Missing Trees by Elif Shafak. This apparently has a little bit of magical realism, and it's a little bit of like a Romeo and Juliet story. There are 2 teenagers who fall in love, and they live on this like little island, and they meet in these little caverns, but their families come from like opposing sides of like a war, and they shouldn't be together. They end up getting separated, and then years later, one of them goes back. He says that he's there like trying to discover all of these different plant species, but really he's there to try to find his long lost love. And I've heard like this is getting so much good recognition, so I really, really, really want to read this. And then the final one that I have for this, Poolside, I hope I'm saying that right. This is magical realism, and we are following like this magical place, and they all live by the sea, and like I think they're all blessed with like magical gifts. That's all I know. I've heard that it's best to go into this not knowing a lot about the synopsis, and that the writing is beautiful. Also, the cover though is one of the most beautiful covers I've ever seen in my whole entire life. So I have really, really high hopes for this one. And then the very final one is to read a book while on a picnic. I won't be able to finish a book on a picnic, but the book that I think I want to read on a picnic is going to be Act Your Age, Eve Brown, and this is by Talia Hibbard. I have been told that this is the best book in her series. I've been wanting to read it for forever, but I feel like it's going to be perfect to read on a picnic because I know that this takes place in the Lake District, and the Lake District is like this beautiful, beautiful, picturesque place. I actually traveled abroad there when I was in college, and it like changed my life. I love it so much. It's beautiful. This particular book is following Eve Brown, and Eve Brown gets a new job as a chef at, I think, like this little tiny inn in the Lake District, and it sounds just like perfect. It sounds summery and cute. It's a little bit of a romance between her and the owner of the inn, and I think that'll be really sweet to read while on a picnic. So these are all of the books that I will be attempting to read this week. Again, I only want to try to finish 3 of these, but I would like to try to hit every single prompt, including the Instagram prompts. We'll see if that's even possible. I don't know. But yes, those are all of the books that I think I really, really want to read, and I'm really, really, really excited. I'm glad that I kind of put together like a really big mood TBR too. I think it'll be really fun to kind of go through and see which ones I'm in the mood for on which days. But anyways, what am I doing today, you might ask? Well, it's kind of a boring Monday, so I'm mostly going to be editing and things for YouTube, which I enjoy, but it is kind of boring. And then I think at some point I really want to take a picture of this stack of books and post it on my Instagram. But for right now, we need to go upstairs and we need to get to work because I have so much that is due tomorrow. With that, let the readathon begin. Not with reading, but with YouTube stuff. Okay. friends, it is I think 3 o'clock. I'm like really sleepy. I'm never sleepy in the middle of the day, but I am so sleepy right now. And I think that's my sign to go get lunch. But before I do, I just realized that I have not done the very first Instagram challenge. So I think I could take like a little pause from work to do that. So let's do it now. Okay, so the very first Instagram challenge is to post a stack of your TBR. And I normally do a lot of stacks in front of my main library downstairs, but my library is a literal mess because I filmed a book haul, which I think actually goes up before this one, does it? I don't know. And I have not had time to clean off the table with all the books and stuff. And I don't have time right now to clean that because I really have to work on this video. So I think I'm gonna do it in front of my TBR thing shelves. They're shelves. Okay. So I think I can do that. Let me go grab all of the books downstairs and then I'll come back and I'll like set everything up here. Okay. Okay, so I have this little tray and I just have this on my leather. Would it look better without the tray or with the tray? I don't know, but I'm thinking of like doing an up angle like this. Maybe if it's a little closer. I feel like there's like a lot of blue and I need there to be more yellow. So, and then just so you know, I actually use this camera to take my pictures and also to film a lot of my videos. What is this? It's a Canon 6D Mark II. And this is how I take all of my Instagram pictures and then I edit them in the Lightroom app on my phone. And they all have the same preset, but I'm pretty sure it's one that I made. I'm not sure because I've had it for so long. Hi besties. Okay, so I took the picture, uploaded to my computer, edited the picture, and then uploaded it to my Instagram. I can go ahead and like pop it on the screen. So I have done the first day's prompt. We'll see if I do any of the others. I'm hoping to do every single one, but honestly, I might crash and burn, who knows. But now I think I'm gonna go ahead and take my like official lunch. So I'm gonna go and pick up a sandwich for my lunch, and then I think I'm gonna come outside and read while I eat my sandwich for 30 minutes, because that just sounds like the perfect lunch break. But first, we have to go and pick up food. So let's do that.
How come the stars come to shine when it's dark from so far away? Show us where we are. What makes the sun go to sleep every night? And what's it dreaming of? I wonder.
Hello besties! Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I finished my Rory Readathon video and it only took me 7.5 hours and I am so shocked. Just so that you know, like anytime I do a vlog, it takes me on average between 10 to 16 hours. It's like they take me such a long time to edit, and then sit down ones, it kind of depends on like how elaborate they are. Like the Bridgerton one, that one took so many hours to edit because there were so many like special effects and things. But a typical sit down video will take about 10-ish hours, or like it depends, like between 7 and 10 hours. So I am so happy that that video is done. I just have to email it to my sponsor in the morning. I'm so excited. I feel like it turned out really cute, but I'm really surprised because usually Mondays are like the days where I will work sometimes until like 10. It's only 10:40. It's only 8:41, which makes me so happy because I definitely have lots of time to listen to my audiobook and read Hazel Bly, which is great because I really am in the mood for reading. So let me catch you up first with what's going on with Hazel Bly. So this is following Hazel, and Hazel has 2 moms who were married, but one of them has passed away, and she's passed away 2 years ago. And Hazel, you can tell, has really been affected by this. We don't know what happened, but Hazel for some reason is blaming herself for her death, and she also has a lot of scars on her face. I'm assuming that there was some kind of an accident. And Hazel has a little sister named Peach, and her sister, her mom, and her all moved to Maine. But things get really complicated. This isn't actually put in the synopsis. What's in the synopsis is that Hazel finds a friend and they explore the lore and legends of like this local mermaid. Sounds pretty cool, right? But like what's not on the synopsis, I guess because it's very complicated and very sad, perfect for Ashley Herring Blake because she writes about very hard-hitting stuff in middle grade, and she does it like phenomenally. But when she gets there, her mom runs into her old first love, who is a woman named Claire, and Claire has a daughter who is Hazel's age. It's actually really like hurting my stomach, believe it or not, to read, because you feel so bad for Hazel, because like her mom is kind of almost acting like Hazel is like a burden to her, because Hazel has been through something really tragic and now she's very, very cautious. She has like a fanny pack with like all of this first aid, and she's constantly trying to make sure that her little sister is safe. And her mom is like always so bothered by Hazel. Like she's always like sighing in like frustration or annoyance because Hazel is like taking all of this like medical stuff too far. And like that actually makes me so upset that I kind of just want to like sit Hazel's mom down and be like, are you joking me? Your daughter has been through some traumatic shit, and you're telling me that you're like getting annoyed because she wants to feel some kind of like a safeguard? Are you okay? Like maybe you need some like very serious grieving counseling as well. And I mean that not as like a dig, but like as a literal, this isn't like a normal response. And it's just like, it's really frustrating me. Like within the first hour of meeting Claire, she's kind of ditching her daughter. Like they're all going out to a restaurant together, but she's just so excited to talk to Claire and she's like laughing. How awkward would that be if you were kind of basically almost on like a date with your mom and her ex-flame and her ex-flame's daughter, and you could clearly tell that your mom and her were flirting, but your mom, your other mom, had died. I mean, like, I know it was 2 years ago, but Hazel's 12. You know what I mean? Like she's not. And also what's kind of weird is I guess I don't know, but I feel like when there's like a death or a divorce in the family, I feel like kids are usually a little bit hesitant when they're younger anyways for like their parents to kind of move on, because it shakes the dynamics of like how they thought their family was going to be. So I'm really surprised because Lemon, who's the little girl who is Claire's daughter, is like, do you think they're gonna date? Do you think they're in love? Do you think they were each other's first kiss? I'm like, these are not the questions I would be thinking with like excitement. These are the questions that I personally would like, they would make me sick as a 12-year-old. I would be like, oh my God, like I really am not ready for like another change. Does that make sense? And what's really frustrating, Hazel's little sister Peach gets cut. She, you know, pricks her finger on like a bunch of thorns and she starts to cry. And so Hazel cleans up her cut, and then she like starts to put band-aids on her to make sure that her sister is okay. And her mom gets annoyed at Hazel. She's like, Hazel, that's enough. You don't need to help your sister that much. And it's like, lady, I don't like you. So far, I'm gonna tell you, this is one of the most stressful reads I've ever read. Like, I am so frustrated with this situation. I don't think it's bad, by the way, that like parents move on and date. If you are divorced or like widowed or you're moving on, I don't think that's bad at all. And I think that the subject matter is actually really important, and I'm really, really excited to see what Ashley Herring Blake does with this, because this is kind of like the gray area where a lot of kids experience this and they need that representation, right? Like it's really important for kids who have experienced that to feel seen. But as a person who is just reading for enjoyment, this book is not enjoyable right now. I'll also say that it's interesting because I feel like Hazel Bly is a complete foil to Ashley Herring Blake's first character that I read, whose name was Sunny. Sunny was this little girl who had a heart condition and she wanted to do all of these big adventures, but she was really sick. And so everyone around her was overly cautious and like constantly talking about her health and saying that she needed to be careful and really making sure that she wasn't doing anything even remotely dangerous, and she felt really stifled by it. It's the complete opposite with Hazel Bly. Hazel Bly is very, very healthy, and in fact, she has like a first aid kit that she takes with her all of the time, but she is the opposite. She does not want adventures. She is afraid that everybody in her life is going to get hurt because she lost her mom, and so it's a complete opposite to Sunny St. James, which is so interesting. I think that's it though, you guys. I'm gonna go ahead and try reading. This might be my last update for tonight, so I guess I will catch up with you tomorrow. Okay, bye. Hello, best besties, and good morning. Today is day 3 of the Suns Out Books Out Readathon. I ended up not vlogging at all for day 2 just because I did so much work and I did not bother to get out of my pajamas all day long. I literally was like in sweats with like a doo-doo bun on top of my head while I answered emails and edited videos. So you didn't miss anything. But today is going to be a really fun day because we're actually doing some Summery activities, meaning one Summery activity, and that is going to the pool. So while I did not vlog yesterday, I did actually finish my very first book. I finished Hazel Bly and the Deep Blue Sea, and I'm gonna say that I was actually really disappointed with it. I don't know my exact rating yet, so like when I figured that out, I'll go ahead and like properly review it for you in this video, but I'm a little disappointed in it. That's okay though. Let me show you the 2 books that I am focusing on today. So the very first one is Family of Liars by E. Lockhart. I think I already said what this is about, but it's like the prequel to We Were Liars, and that is like the ultimate summer book. I don't think I'll be able to really review this very well in this particular video because I don't want to ruin the first book, We Were Liars, and this is gonna have lots of spoilers. But basically, we're following the parents of the teenagers from We Were Liars when they are on this New England island themselves as teenagers, and I'm really excited about it. And then I'm also going to be focusing on Shipped by Angie Hockman, which is a hate to love romance. I'm listening to this a little bit right now on audio, and I am freaking loving it so much. I feel like both of these will be really perfect to read poolside, and that is what we're doing today. I've also done the Instagram challenges, but anyways, today I am also going to be making a strawberry margarita to sit by the pool too, because doesn't that sound like so much fun? Doesn't it sound like so much fun to be in the sun by the water with a strawberry margarita in your hand? It will be like alcohol free because I don't think you can bring alcohol to the country club. So anyways, I'm really excited. It's gonna be a great day. I'm in a really happy mood because the sun is out, and I don't know, it feels like summer, you know? So I think we're gonna start with actually going and picking up my lunch and having a little bit of a picnic on the porch, listening to one of these books, well, listening to this book on audio, and then reading this one by the pool. Let's start our Summery day.
Right now I'm standing in a corner. I see you from across the room. It's kinda crowded here, but I know you see me too. Everybody's singing, oh, everybody's singing, oh. I don't know what it is about you. It must be in the way you move. Just say you want me to. We got nothing to lose. You're looking so old. You're looking so old. Now I'm moving closer to you, and it's getting dark in this room. Tell me what you wanna do. Baby, let me love you, let me love you, let me love you.
Hello besties. I just got back from the pool. I'm on page 70 of Shipped, which I think is pretty good actually. Wait, am I on 70? Am I? Yeah, I'm on 60. Close enough. This is super good. This is exactly what I wanted. It's like snarky, it's lots and lots of tension. So we're following our main protagonist, whose name is, it is not Harper. Henley. I wanted to say Harper. What on earth? Anyways, we're following Henley, and Henley is like my kind of protagonist. She's really sassy and snarky and very like herself. She's going for this position. I feel like her boss is a little patronizing to her, which like we don't love, but I'm like loving Graham. I already have like a little minor crush on him, but so far I think this is gonna be like a winner because I'm really enjoying it a lot. This book, I'm super enjoying it. I was like exclusively reading this in the pool. Like I sat on the little pool steps because it was freaking hot. I took off the dust jacket, and so I feel like this is probably splattered. It kind of smells like chlorine and sunscreen, and like we love to see it. And this is so fast paced. This is reading exactly in the same tone as We Were Liars, but it feels like a very different voice, and I'm like loving it. We're following, I think, Carrie's perspective, who's one of the aunts, and it's just so good because in We Were Liars, the grandpa is one of these guys who like, he's all about appearances and he would rather like silently suffer but seem perfect than like let anyone know that he feels things and that he's human. You can see in this book, he's really kind of a bit of an asshole to his daughters, and like I hate it. Like he's not abusive or anything like that, but it's more like he's just not giving them like the emotional support that they need. For example, our main character, he made her get jaw surgery, not because she needs it, but because he doesn't like her appearance. And the main character, she's like, I don't want jaw surgery. I'm fine with the way I look. I'm fine with the way I eat. And he's like, well, you just don't look like a Sinclair. Like you look weak. Are you joking me? So he's off my Christmas list. So that's what's up with these two books. Let me tell you what I'm doing now. So it's 4:15-ish and I need to clean my library because it looks clean, like behind me, but I have all of my books from a book haul that I filmed just like casually thrown everywhere. So I need to put those away. And then I do need to do about at least an hour and a half to 2 hours worth of work because I would like to plan a few of my videos for July, and I'm going to, I think, sit down and film like at least 2 of them tomorrow. So I'd like to like curate a couple of lists together and kind of like figure out exactly what I would like to film. And so I need to prep all of that tonight so that tomorrow I just have to sit down and film and it goes super, super smoothly. So I'm gonna do that. But before I do that for the next like 2 to 3 hours, I thought I would try my best to give a little mini review for Hazel Bly and the Deep Blue Sea by Ashley Herring Blake. I'm gonna be honest, like my rating is still very, very much up in the air. I need to figure out exactly how I feel about it. Okay. I feel like this book was a really, really, really big disappointment to me, and I'm very sad to say that because I loved The Mighty Heart of Sunny St. James so much, and I really felt like I had found a new favorite author, and that's what makes this kind of weird because I actually still consider Ashley Herring Blake to be a favorite author. This book though, it just like was not for me. If you liked Poets of the Sea, that one's like a YA book. I loved that book. I feel like you might potentially like this book. I do kind of feel like this maybe could have done really, really well as a YA book as well. It involves like a lot of serious topics, and I don't know, I feel like it would have done really, really well as a YA book. But if you like the vibes of that one, you might really, really enjoy the vibes of this one. If you've read this one and you were kind of iffy on it, try The Mighty Heart of Sunny St. James because that one is a 10 out of 10. But also I have heard from multiple people that they loved this book. And so if you love this book, I also recommend checking out either Dead Poets of the Sea or The Mighty Heart of Sunny St. James. Love those. And if you are looking for great mental health rep in middle grade, because this goes over a lot of mental health rep, I also recommend that you check out, I'm gonna insert the cover. I don't remember what it's called. It is by, nope, don't remember the author's name either. Whew, okay. Oh, Some Kind of Happiness by Clara LeGrand. Got it. Okay. Because that I think is one of my new favorite middle grades of all time. So this book is a little different than I think the synopsis says. So the synopsis is saying that Hazel Bly used to live in the perfect house in California, but then one of her moms died. And then ever since then, she's been traveling. And for the summer, she is staying in Maine, where she meets a new friend named Lemon, and they explore this legend of a mermaid. And you know, I wish that the synopsis had been a little bit more clear on other things that were happening. A huge part of this book, and it's present in the very first chapter, are several things. First of all, our main protagonist is really struggling with her mental health. She's really, really struggling with her anxiety. And that is a huge, huge, huge part of this, which like I liked that representation actually because I'm a person with severe anxiety. But then the second is that her mom immediately starts to date somebody in the town, a woman named Claire, who's really awesome. Like you love Claire's arc and like her character, but it is complicated because Hazel's just lost her mom. And so she is struggling with anxiety and PTSD because she just went through a ton of trauma because she was in the accident that her mom was in. And so now her other mom is starting to date. The entire tone of the book is so unbearably sad. Let me tell you a couple of things that I loved about it, and then I'm gonna spoil the book. So like when I spoil it, I'll give you a little bit of like a heads up so that you can skip it if you don't want to be spoiled. Some of the things that I loved about this was the representation. Amazing. 100% like maybe some of my favorite representation in any middle grade. There is a character in here named Jules, and Jules is non-binary, and Jules is like my favorite character. They are just so freaking cool, and Hazel gets a crush on Jules, and it's really, really cute, and I love it so much. Hazel's mom is also bisexual, and I liked how that term was explained in a very like easy to understand way. It felt very, very accessible. So like the bi representation I loved. I loved the non-binary representation in here. Actually, Herring Blake always does representation very, very well, so I'm not surprised at all by that. Also, I loved the vibes in this. This was set on the coast of New England in Maine. We have, you know, the bonfires and summer and the waves. Like there are so many really atmospheric, wonderful things about this book. So if you're looking for a book with atmosphere, with great representation, and that's gonna be really hard hitting, you might wanna pick this up. Let's talk about why I didn't like it. So I'm gonna spoil the book. Somewhere on the screen, I'll put like a time so you can skip it if you want to still read this book, but I am gonna spoil it. I really hated Hazel's mom. She never redeemed herself for me throughout the entire book. So I have severe anxiety. I do not talk about that on my channel, but I have very, very bad anxiety, and I tend to get panic attacks and anxiety attacks. They're different, but I get them both. And it was very, very hard because Hazel's 12 years old, and her mom immediately kind of seems to ditch her daughter for this lady. Hazel doesn't want to go to this summer camp, but her mom is like, I want to hang out with Claire, go to the summer camp. She comes back from the summer camp and she's like, it was a horrible day, Mom. I had an anxiety attack because I saw a kayak. Keep in mind, her mom died from a kayaking incident, and Hazel has a fear of the ocean because of this. And summer camp is based by the ocean. And so Hazel was like, Mom, I had an anxiety attack. I'm really, really not happy there. And she was like, you know what? You'll be fine. Literally, that's like the attitude of her mom. She's like, you know what? You'll be fine. She like brushes it out. She doesn't offer to get her therapy or to talk about it. She also won't touch her daughter. She won't look at her daughter. She doesn't have any conversations with her daughter. And then eventually she just starts like flat out ditching her daughter. They go to this very, very big like citywide bonfire event, and like everyone is drinking, adults and kids are all together. Hazel is not having a good time, and she wants to like hang out with her mom, and her mom is like, no, you know what? I want to hang out with Claire. Here's the weird thing. That's a really, really bad night, and like a lot of bad things happen, but eventually Hazel and Lemon like hang out at Lemon's house for a slumber party. Lemon's mother calls her and makes sure that everything is okay, but Hazel's mom never calls her. Oh, by the way, Lemon's mom is the one who's dating Hazel's mom. Anyways, Lemon tells her mom, like, by the way, Hazel is over at her house. So like Claire tells Hazel's mom, I don't remember her name. Lemon's mom tells Hazel's mom, oh, your daughter's at my house. Hazel's mom never calls her. Can you imagine being an adult woman with a oh, by the way, the 12-year-old daughter at this like citywide, really major bonfire with like drinking and all this other stuff is also watching her 6-year-old daughter. So Hazel is watching her 6-year-old sister, and they're both doing their own thing, and they both end up at this lady's house spending the night, and she never thinks to call her daughter or text her daughter and be like, hey, are you okay? Like, is your sister cool? Like, are you good? I'm gonna stay out drinking. Like, you good? Nothing. Which is so, like, I think borderline neglectful. Then the mom writes a new book because she's a romance author. She writes out her kids out of her life. It's about a single girl finding this other new person in a city and like making a new life for her. And like then Hazel confronts her mom and it's like, when are we finally gonna go back home? And her mom tells her, I sold the house without you knowing with most of our stuff. We're never going back. Hazel then has a full-grown panic attack and leaves. And instead of this woman going after her 12-year-old daughter at all, she stays there with this other lady, Claire, who she's on a date with. And Hazel then thinks, wow, my mom doesn't care clearly about me. She does not care. She has not cared this whole book for me. Let me just go unalive myself. So yes, a 12-year-old goes into a rowboat after being neglected heavily by her mother, and she swims out to the open ocean in this rowboat and tries to drown herself. So, do I like the book? No. I was like quite upset. And then the really sad thing is like afterwards, it seems like the mom is forgiven so easily. And it was just really, really weird. And it turns out that like you know, she goes to therapy and we learn that she has severe anxiety and PTSD and she should have been treated from all of this. And the mom has just been kind of like ignoring it for like 2 years, ignoring her daughter kind of. And it just, you know what? It was like a very unenjoyable book. I love reading about mental health in middle grade, but I felt like it was too painful to read about how severely the mom neglected her daughter and chose somebody else over her daughter. And I just didn't enjoy it, and it really hurt my stomach to read. I don't have kids, but like I love kids so much. I love kids so much. There's no way in any universe that would happen to my daughter. Absolutely not. So I didn't enjoy it. Now, if you enjoy it, that just means we took it differently. You could have taken what happened and you could have been like, that's so beautiful that she was resilient. I love how they patched up their relationship. I loved how lyrical it was. It wasn't a bad book. Like, it was written very, very well. It was very atmospheric. The character arcs in it were wonderful. There's a book for every reader. There will be readers out there who need to read this. You know what I mean? I'm just not one of them, and that's okay. So yes, those are my thoughts. As far as a rating is concerned, I don't know. I'm gonna give this book overall maybe like a 3. But like my enjoyment level was a 1. So I don't know. I'm bouncing back and forth between like a 2.5 and a 3 star, but I'm leaning towards 3 because I do think that it was well written. It just really was not for me. I've been talking for 20 minutes. Are you joking me? I think that is it for now though, you guys. I'm gonna go ahead and clean up a little bit and then kind of prep for some videos. Let me tell you what I think I wanna do tonight though. I think I wanna watch LUCA. Have you guys seen that movie? Like, it's a Disney movie. It's one of my favorite movies ever. It's so summery, and that means I get to order pasta. So tonight is gonna be a pasta and LUCA night, and I'm so excited about it, which means I am going to have to try to do my work as fast as possible because I'm already ready for some pasta. Anyways, I will catch up with you as soon as I'm ready to eat and watch LUCA, and we will hang out and have just like the most fun Italian night together. Okay. Hello, besties. Time has passed and it is now almost 6 o'clock and I am at the store. I was actually just gonna order myself pasta, but what I really want is the pasta from LUCA. Like, I want it to be green. I'm gonna like insert a picture here so that you know what I'm talking about. And like, nowhere in town had green pasta. Basically, we're looking for a pesto pasta. So I just figured I would go to the store. I think what I'm gonna do is like add asparagus and like a little bit of lemon maybe to the pesto, and it's gonna be really, really good. It's gonna be a creamy pesto, and I'm gonna make it a tortellini. I know it's a linguine in this place, but really I'm just craving the green color. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go in, we're gonna buy all the green pasta things, go home, make it, watch LUCA, and have the perfect summer night.
I know we're going somewhere into the danger zone. It all points right to that. I set myself aside, lead the way on this trial. If you don't know the way, we can stop and make a change. I know we walk for days, losing hope, fading love. This night will be okay, waking up to another day.
Hi friends, and welcome to, I want to say day 6 of the Readathon. I ended up taking off days 4 and 5 because I had to do like a lot of like editing and getting things approved by sponsors and things like that. So I ended up not filming, but I did end up finishing Family of Liars, as well as the Eve Brown book. Both of them were 5 stars. I love them both so much, and we're gonna talk about them a little bit more. I want them in front of me. I don't know if anybody else who reviews books is like this, but I really enjoy like holding up the physical copy of the book. So I'm going to tell you a little bit more about both of those books later on. Today though, I just wanted to intro this and tell you that I am starting a Snicker of Magic. This is going to be my picnic read. Technically, Eve Brown was supposed to be my picnic read, but I started listening to it it on my off day, like as an audiobook, and I loved it so much that I just couldn't stop, and I ended up binging it in a full day. So if that tells you anything, yeah, it's really, really good. So today I'm doing the picnic, and as much as I love a grassy moment, okay, I think I'm going to do the picnic just on my porch and like just on my table because I want it to be a little bit more low key. I don't really feel like driving to a park. The pollen, she crazy this year, okay? Like, and I am dying. Anytime I go outside, I'm completely dying. So I thought, like, let me have a little bit more of a casual picnic just on my porch while I read. So the plan today is to go to one of my very favorite stores and get a bunch of stuff to make a charcuterie board and maybe a couple little picnicky sandwiches. And then I'm going to go out on my porch and I'm going to hang out actually with my mom. I think she's going to be painting or something next to me, and I'm going to read this book and we're just going to hang out and chill on the porch, and it's going to be a really, really fun day. This is the book that I'm going to be trying to read today. It's called A Snicker in Magic, and it's by Natalie Lloyd. And I'm really, really excited because I really feel like a good middle grade right now. You know, like I'm in the mood for a good middle grade. I'm going to try to read as much of this as possible because I'm running out of time for this readathon. And I still have so many books that I really, really, really want to try to get to. But I definitely want to get to this one because this will tick off both a book that you read while on a picnic and a book that is yellow. The plan for today is to go out, to go get picnic stuff, set it up outside and read a little bit outside and just kind of enjoy the nice summer weather. So without further ado, let's go do a picnic.
I can't let you go, baby. I just want to tell you that. No, 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 no. Yeah. All of my friends say, girl, you better take care. Cause that man is trouble, you best beware. And though deep down, I know I might be headed for teardrops. Now that you got me started, I just can't stop. No, no. Cause I love you, baby. I can't let you go, baby. I gotta tell you that I've been looking for love so true. When I was down and out, along came you. Though you might be a liar and a cheat too, I just can't quit you now cause I love you. Yes, I do.
Hi besties, so it's around 5:30 and I wanted to give you a little bit of an update. First of all, I had like the best picnic ever. I read a little bit after the picnic, but like during the picnic, I mostly just hung out with my mom, which was really, really nice. But I did get some reading done. I just kind of realized that this is the 6th day, which means that tomorrow is the last day of the readathon. So I kind of wanted to give you like an overall overview of everything that I've done and all of the books that I have not read yet. So the first book I read was Hazel Bly and the Deep Blue Sea by Ashley Herring Blake. And sadly, this wasn't for me. My rating is probably at a 2.5, although I do feel like it's a very well written book. It's just not quite for me, and that's okay. Next up, I read Shipped by Angie Hockman, as well as Family of Liars by E. Lockhart. I read both of these, I think on days 3 and 4, if I'm getting that right. And I think they're both like between 4.5 and 5 stars. They're both really, really good. And I really, really loved them. This was for the prompt book recommended by a friend. My friend Allie recommended this. This was a book set by the ocean. And then this was a chill thriller. And I really, really enjoyed this. I was so nervous that this book would let me down because I loved We Were Liars so much, but I loved it so much. I have dog-eared so many pages. There were so many beautiful quotes. I loved the world that this is set in. Like I love the family. I love the dynamics. I love what E. Lockhart did. I feel like she did a really, really great job of romanticizing like the New England coastal, very, very wealthy, privileged living, but also bringing it back down to earth by saying that these people are very privileged and the money doesn't come from necessarily good places. So like romanticize it, but don't really romanticize it, if that makes sense. And I feel like the twists in here were so good. Like if you are a person who likes really juicy twists and turns, you need to pick this up. This book I really, really liked. This is great. This is so great. I loved this book. And then on day 5, 5. Yeah, so I finished those 4 and 5, or no, 3 and 4. Oh my gosh, everything is blurring together. I'm so sorry. But anyways, I finished this one yesterday and I loved this. So many people said that this is their favorite out of all of the like Brown sisters stories. I still haven't read Chloe's story yet. I loved Danny and Zaf so much. But I also really loved Jacob and Eve so much. Like, I ship them so much. I think this is great too because it has, I think, really great neurodivergent rep in here. Jacob is on the autism spectrum. I love it when romances focus on like diverse characters and things like that. I feel like everyone deserves to be represented. And I just felt like this was so good. And it's impossible to not fall in love with Jacob. It's impossible to not fall in love with Eve. Like, she's one of my new favorite characters of all time. I want to be her bestie. I could not recommend this more. I thought it was amazing and it was so funny. This is, I think, one of the best enemies to lovers I've ever read in my whole entire life. And then for my update on A Snicker of Magic by Natalie Lloyd. So I've made a lot of really good progress today. I'm on 74, which is pretty good. I wanted to be further, but I don't think I'm gonna get much further tonight. I'm gonna try reading another like 20-ish pages or so, but I'm gonna watch a movie with my family later, and so it's not as much of a priority, which means that hopefully I can finish this tomorrow, which will mean that I will have finished hopefully 5 books for this readathon. But that means that I didn't actually get to any of these books. I didn't actually get to The Counselors by Jessica Goodman, and I don't think I'm gonna try reading this tomorrow. I could, but I actually think I'm gonna try saving this for Summerween because I feel like it'll be a fun thriller to read for the summer. I am not gonna get to Half of a Soul by Olivia Atwater, but I'm kind of okay with that because I feel like this will be a really fun read going into fall. Okay, this one I actually feel really bad about because I took a picture of this for the Instagram photo challenges. I forgot to do days 4 and 5. I don't think I'm gonna get to this one, but again, I think I'm okay with it because I'm just going to bump it and read it in Summerween. This will be like the perfect thriller to read for that. However, let me tell you the 2 books I'm actually devastated that I didn't get to, and that is Papisho and The Island of Missing Trees. I considered extending this readathon and trying to do like a 48-hour readathon so I could finish these 2 books. But the thing is, I don't want to, these are like my 2 most anticipated for the summer. I forgot to put this one on my TBR and I was like really upset about it, but I really wanted to read both of these for the summertime, and so I think I'm just gonna do like a separate reading vlog where I read like 3 more summer books, and these will be the 2 that I read in that one. So, but I am a little sad that I didn't get to these 2 in this reading vlog. So I think my goal is going to be trying to read as much of this as possible today and tomorrow, and hopefully I'll finish. That's it for today's update. I will talk to you tomorrow, which is the last day of the readathon. Okay, bye. Friends, welcome to day 7. It is the final day of the vlog, and I'm actually really sad because I've had so much fun participating in this. It has gotten me in such a summery mood, so I'm really sad actually to say goodbye in this portion of the vlog. Also, if you hear anything, my cat is playing with random stuff and he's having a good time. So like, who am I? Who am I to tell him to stop, you know? Today, my goal is to finish this book. I don't know if I can. I really don't know if I can. I have 200 pages left. I did not read anything last night. I was really tired. So the goal today is to read this. But again, will she do it? Who knows? I thought today though we would go to a cafe. I haven't gone to a cafe all week long and I just feel like getting out of the house. I would like to edit a vlog for a couple of hours as well. So I think I'm gonna take my laptop with me to the cafe, work for a little bit, and then try to get a little bit ahead with this book today. Having said that, let's go to a cafe, let's read a little bit, let's work a little bit, and let's have a little bit of coffee. besties. So it is 5:30 and I have officially finished a Snicker of Magic, which means I can finally conclude this vlog. A big theme of this book was ice cream. So I figured I would talk about this book while I ate ice cream. I have to, right? I have to be on brand for the book, not for me, not because I want ice cream. It's a sacrifice I'm willing to make. I feel like a lot of people sleep on strawberry ice cream. It's my favorite flavor. Okay.
Strawberry ice cream in Malibu. Now you get deja vu.
This book was amazing. I loved it so much. Natalie Lloyd. Oh, by the way, also I broke a nail. We're looking a little sad there, but that's okay. Natalie Lloyd is such a phenomenal writer. Like the way she describes everything in here was absolutely beautiful. There's definitely a lot of magic in here, but it's not like belonging to a magic system. And it reminds me a lot of kind of like Big Fish, if you have seen that movie. I know it's a book, I haven't read it, but it reminded me a lot about that, except in a middle grade format. I loved this book so much because we are learning about every single family and how every single family in this town was connected to magic. Some of the families could turn invisible, some could literally conjure up rain and storms, some collected shadows. All of them have kind of lost their magic because of this curse. I think that like befell on these two brothers. And I just thought it was really, really interesting. And the overall message of the book was so beautiful and it made me cry. I was actually like getting very, very emotional towards the end. I felt like the theme in this was beautiful, but I don't really want to discuss it too much because I feel like it's best to go into this and almost not know the theme for this book and really discover it yourself. It was really beautiful. It did get kind of confusing at times just because there are so many people. You're not just learning about like the families with magic, you're learning about their descendants and you're trying to keep track of like how every single thing fits together. So you might want to make like a character map going into this because there's so many characters. But I just really loved it. I had so much fun reading this. I feel like Natalie Lloyd did such a great job. This entire thing is actually set in Tennessee. And what's really interesting is I looked on the back and Natalie Lloyd lives here in Chattanooga, which I think is so funny because I live in Chattanooga. I thought that was really, really cool. I really, really enjoyed this. I really, really enjoyed the characters. I thought it was really, really great. And I'm so glad I decided to read it for this readathon because it's definitely like the perfect summer read in my opinion. Now what I thought would be kind of fun is to conclude the vlog. I'm going to rank all of the books. Oh my God, I love this ice cream. I haven't actually sorted through my thoughts yet. I know I've talked about every single one of these books. I feel like rating them is gonna be really hard. Okay, so let's start with least to like most liked. So we're going from like the bottom to the top so we can end kind of like on a positive note. So I think my least favorite book was Hazel Bly and the Deep Blue Sea by Ashley Herring Blake. I think that this is going to be a book that is really, really touching for some people. I think it's absolutely beautifully written. And I feel like the resilience of the main character was beautifully portrayed. It's just not a story that I really connected to, and that's totally okay. So for me, this is going to be on the bottom. The next book, oh, this is really tough. I think the next book is Shipped. I got really, really lucky because everything else is like a 4.5 and up. So it's really hard actually to put this one next because it's so high up. So just know that all of these are really, really high up. I love this book so much. If you are looking for a really good summer rom-com, I think you will really enjoy this. And this was a great recommendation from my friend Allie. Next, I think I'm gonna pick a Snicker in Magic or a Snicker of Magic by Natalie Lloyd. This was a great middle grade. I thought it was so well written. I thought the cast was so wonderful. It was such a great read. Like it was really a breath of fresh air. I feel like it's super, super unique. I think a lot of people are really gonna like this and it's a perfect book to read in the summertime. Also, I didn't really talk about how ice cream is integrated here, but ice cream is a huge part of this town. The ice cream is kind of magical itself. Like you can have different flavors that remind you of memories. I don't know, there's like a lot of food that has magic in this book and they kept eating ice cream. So like just know if you read this, you're gonna want ice cream. Next, I think is going to be Act Your Age, Eve Brown. This I think I might even like better than Danny, but I'm not sure because I loved Danny so much. But it's such a great romance. I think this is my favorite enemies to lovers romance that I've read, I think, to date. It was just done so well. You will love Eve's character. You will love Jacob's character. It's impossible not to love their love story. I just think it's fantastic. And then finally, my #1 favorite book that I've read for this readathon was Family of Liars, the We Were Liars prequel. If you didn't love We Were Liars, maybe you won't like this one because it's the exact same type of a style, but I loved the style of the first book and I loved this one so much, and I'm so happy because I was so nervous going into this. I really wanted to love this as much as We Were Liars, and I think I do actually. So those are all the books that I completed. I completed 5 books, and this is the order of like top to bottom, and I had a really, really good time. Again, I am still sad that I didn't get to these 2, but like I said, I will just put these in a new dedicated summary reading vlog. I think, you guys, that is where I'm going to leave this readathon. I had so much fun, and now I'm gonna have a lot of fun eating this entire thing of ice cream. Thank you guys so much for sticking around and tuning in, and if you have made it to this part of the video, ooh, leave me a strawberry. Is there a strawberry? I'm sure there is. If not, leave me ice cream. Either leave me ice cream or a strawberry emoji, or tell me your favorite ice cream flavor with the emojis. But I had so much fun with this readathon. Again, all of the links for all of the hosts will be down below. Be sure to check all of them out. And thank you guys so much for watching. So until next time, book lovers, keep your head in the clouds and your heart in a book, and I will talk to you very soon. Bye. Oh my God.
Always think of you when spring comes, like it's something in the air at that time. Don't know why. Always dream of you when spring comes. It's like the heat on my skin takes me